Age restriction can be the #1 demotivator when it comes to the space. Your videos that you spent hours making could get held back by YouTube, making people think, what's the point? Well, in this video, I'm going to be giving some tips out on avoiding age restriction, and maybe some of them can help you out. But first, if you're new around here, give me a sub. So when it comes to avoiding age restriction, there's a couple ways around it. Not all of them are going to apply to everyone, so I'm going to have timestamps down below for everyone to go pick their own method. So the first method I'm going to talk about is one that's becoming a lot more popular, and I actually know a few people who are doing this method. And it basically consists of people not talking about the consumption of the plant or talking about the plant at all, and structuring their videos around other subjects. So I'm going to throw a few videos up. What do all these videos have in common? They don't talk about consumption at all, but what do they have inside the video? Consumption. You see what I mean? You can get around it, but sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice fully showing the plant and talking about the plant, which that's why I have timestamp, because not everyone's going to use the same methods, or not everyone's going to want to use the same methods. And for the people that do use this method, they have a lot of range. They can basically do whatever they want because they're not being held back by YouTube. So when it comes to this method, I would highly recommend it. It's good for if you want to do other stuff with your content besides consume and show it to the camera. You can go out and do other stuff. There's fishing, sports, camping. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. Eating food, makeup. There's a whole market for incorporating consumption in the plant. So this next method I'm going to talk about is probably one that you've heard about and you've probably seen going around. And that's not using keywords and not using keyframes. And this is a big thing in this space. There's a lot of people who are using this method and are avoiding age restriction. I want you to go watch the new Fulcrum video, and while you're watching it, ask yourself, why isn't this age restricted? Because to the broad eye, it would look like it's age restricted, but it's not. And this is for a few reasons. One, he's not saying keywords. And two, he's not showing keyframes. And another big thing is, if you look in the description of a lot of his videos, it all says is CGI and that it's all nicotine. And if you didn't know, YouTube doesn't really demonetize nicotine content. So that's some free game right there. But this method is really good. A lot of people on the platform use it. A lot of people I know use it. And it works really well. So I would try it out. So this next method I'm going to talk about is one that I personally use, and that's doing unique content. See, with my content, I can show cultivation and the plant and talk about the plant and not get demonetized. And that's just because how my content is structured and how I do my content. And this doesn't mean that I don't battle with age restriction, because sometimes I do cross the line and I get age restricted. But there are a lot of other times where I don't, and you would probably assume that I do. But because how I edit my videos and how I create my videos, I get around it a lot of the times. And there are other people like me. You have Strange Show, you have LMC, you have Cupins, and all these people have made their content in a certain way where it doesn't really trigger the algorithm by YouTube. But that doesn't mean they don't face the whole problem, because I know from watching their content and hearing from them that they also battle with the whole age restriction problem on YouTube. So if you're in a position to create this kind of content, I would recommend this method because, it works. Personally, from my experience, I can say it works. But I want to know from the VTubers, are there any tips that you have to share to other VTubers? Let me know down in the comments, and until next time, peace.
She said I could have it. 2016, little bitch, I'm a savage. Johnny Depp's to a bitch, make all the baggage. Then I feel like a motherfucking bandit. RIP, just walk got perks in the cabinet. Sold them off on my